The world is quieting now. The great green breath of summer has been sighed out, and the air is turning cool and clear. In the woodland, a change is underway. It is a slow and silent change, a shift in the quality of the light, a deepening of the shadows. The sun no longer climbs so high. It spills through the thinning canopy in long golden shafts, painting the forest floor in honey and amber. This is the season of letting go. The leaves of the oak and the beech, the hazel and the hawthorn, are letting go of their green. They are turning to rust and copper and pale, buttery yellow. With every soft gust of wind, a few more release their hold, spiraling down, whispering to the ground below. The forest floor is becoming a soft blanket of color, a mosaic of summers past. The air smells of damp earth and decaying leaves, a sweet, rich scent of rest. High in the branches, a small creature feels this change. It is the hazel dormouse, a tiny being of golden brown fur and large dark eyes. Its scientific name is Muscardinus avellanarius, but it is known more simply as the sleeper. Its name comes from the French word dormouse, which means sleeper, and for good reason. This tiny mammal can spend as much as 7 months of the year asleep, a quiet passenger through the cold, dark months. All through the warm days, it has lived a life in the trees, an arboreal existence, moving through the high canopy like a secret. Its paws are made for climbing, its long furry tail a perfect balance as it navigates the slender pathways of hazel branches and honeysuckle vines. It rarely touches the ground, living in a world of leaves and sky. But now, the sky is changing. The days are growing shorter. The nights are growing longer and cooler. An ancient rhythm, a deep and powerful instinct, is beginning to stir within the dormouse. It is a pull, not towards the sky, but towards the earth, a pull towards stillness, a pull towards a long and profound sleep. The forest is preparing for winter. The birdsong has faded, leaving only the occasional, lonely call that echoes in the crisp air. The hum of insects has fallen silent. The world is turning inward, gathering its energy, preparing to rest. And the dormouse, this small vessel of life, is preparing too. It is a part of this great quietness, an embodiment of the drowsing world. Its large black eyes, which have spent the summer nights searching for food and watching for shadows, now seem to hold a deeper, more ancient knowledge. They reflect the golden fading light of the autumn sun, and in their depths is the promise of a long, deep sleep. The dormouse moves slowly now, its motions deliberate. The frantic energy of summer is gone, replaced by a calm and purposeful wait. It is a weight it has been gathering for weeks, a weight that will carry it through the coming darkness. It is the weight of hazelnuts and blackberries, of nectar and pollen, the very essence of the sun-filled months stored deep within its tiny body. This is the golden drowsing, a time of preparation, a time of surrender. The world is falling asleep, and the dormouse is ready to fall asleep with it. It is a journey into a quiet sphere, a descent into the heart of the earth, where it will wait in perfect stillness for the return of the sun. The wind whispers through the bare branches, a lullaby for the coming winter. The leaves rustle one last time, and the world grows very, very still. Chapter 1: A World of Weight and Sweetness. The final days of waking are a slow meditation on fullness. The dormouse is a creature of appetite now. driven by a deep and ancient need. It is a need for weight, for substance, for the sweet, heavy richness of the earth. This is the time of the great feast, the final gathering of the sun's energy before the long dark. All season, its diet has shifted with the turning of the world. In the spring, it tasted the pale, delicate flowers of the oak and the hawthorn, sipping nectar from the first blossoms of willow and sycamore. In the summer, it moved on to the small lives of the forest, the soft bodies of caterpillars, and the sweet dew of aphids. But now, in autumn, the world offers its most potent gifts. The dormouse has become a successional feeder, following the bounty of the seasons to its final, richest course. It moves through the low branches of a hazel coppice, a place that has given it its name. The air is cool on its fur. Its large, dark eyes scan the twigs, not for danger, but for treasure. It finds a cluster of hazelnuts, snug in their frilled green cups. It chooses one. Its tiny paws hold the nut, turning it over and over. The shell is smooth and hard, a perfect wooden vessel. With patient, knowing teeth, it begins to gnaw. It does not crush the shell. It carves a small, neat, circular hole, a perfect doorway into the treasure within. This is a sign of the dormouse, a signature left in the woods. The sound is a soft, persistent scraping, a tiny industry in the great quiet of the forest. Inside, the nut meat is pale and dense, full of the oil and fat that will become its fuel for the long sleep. It is the taste of the earth, of wood, of deep, slow-growing strength. It eats the nut completely, leaving behind the empty, hollowed shell. This is the most important food. The hazelnut is a promise of survival, a dense package of energy that will sustain its tiny sleeping body for months. It is a heavy food, a grounding food, and the dormouse feels this weight settling within it, a comforting anchor. It moves on through a tangle of brambles. The leaves are turning red and purple at the edges, but the fruit still clings to the thorny stems. It finds a blackberry, a perfect globe of dark, juicy drupelets. It is cool to the touch. When the dormouse bites into it, the taste is a burst of deep, wine-like sweetness, a final memory of summer's warmth. The dark juice stains its whiskers. It eats another and another. Each berry is a small, sweet world, a tiny explosion of flavor in the cooling air. It finds other treasures, the bright, tart jewel of a rosehip, the dark, mysterious yew berry, its flesh soft and sweet around its seed. Each taste is different, a complex tapestry of the forest's offerings. This is not a frantic search. It is a slow, deliberate pilgrimage through the fading world, a calm gathering of sweetness and weight. And with every nut, with every berry, the dormouse grows heavier. Its body, once a light scrap of a thing, weighing only 15 or 20 grams, is becoming round and dense. It is a remarkable transformation. It is building a larder, not in a hollow log, but within its own skin. It is doubling its weight, preparing for the long fast. Soon it will weigh 35, perhaps even 40 grams, a tremendous weight for such a small creature. This weight changes its movements. It is less agile now, less inclined to leap from branch to branch. It feels the pull of gravity more keenly. It is a pull downwards, a pull towards the forest floor, towards the place of its long rest. This is not a burden. It is a sacred duty. It is the gathering of a quiet internal sun, a store of life that will glow like a single ember through the cold, dark months. The dormouse must become its most substantial, its most physical self, to prepare for a state that is almost without substance, almost without body. It must become heavy with the world to become as light as a dream. It is a paradox of nature, a beautiful contradiction. The weight it gathers now is an anchor, a store of earthly energy that will allow its spirit to drift in the timeless stillness of hibernation. It is the weight of life, preparing for a sleep that is deeper than life, and so it eats, slowly, peacefully, in the golden fading light of the autumn afternoon. It eats the sweetness of the berries and the richness of the nuts, and it becomes heavy and full and ready for the quiet that is to come. Chapter 2. The Weaver of a Winter Sphere. The time has come. A signal, silent and deep, passes through the dormouse. It is the culmination of the shortening days, the cooling air, and the heavy settled weight within its own body. The season of feasting is over. The season of rest is about to begin. And so it makes its final journey of the year. It is a journey of descent. It leaves the high, airy world of the branches, the familiar pathways of hazel and honeysuckle where it spent the summer nights. It climbs down, slowly, deliberately, leaving the world of the sky behind. Its paws, so used to the feel of bark and twig, now touch the soft, damp earth. It has come down to the ground, to the secret world beneath the blanket of fallen leaves. Here the world is different. The light is dim, filtered through a thick layer of russet and gold. The air is still and moist, smelling of rich soil and decay. This is the place of hibernation. The dormouse moves quietly through the leaf litter, searching. It is not looking for food, it is looking for a place. It finds a small depression in the earth, a shallow hollow at the base of an old coppice stool, sheltered from the wind. The ground here is stable, the air is humid. This is important. The moisture in the air will protect its tiny body from drying out during the long months of sleep. This is the place. This will be its home. Now, the work begins. The dormouse becomes a weaver, an architect, an artist of instinct. It is building its hibernaculum, its winter nest. It is a creation born of ancient knowledge, a skill woven into its very being. It does not need to learn, it simply knows. It begins to gather materials. It does not travel far. Everything it needs is within a few steps, within a few meters of its chosen spot. It is building its new world out of the pieces of its old one. It finds a large, dry oak leaf, papery and curled at the edges. It carries it in its mouth back to the hollow. It finds another, a broad beech leaf, smooth and coppery. It adds it to the first. It gathers bracken fronds, their delicate patterns now brown and brittle, but still surprisingly strong. It collects soft, damp moss, a cushion of deep green. These will form the outer layer, a loose cloak of camouflage that will blend the nest into the forest floor, making it invisible to the passing world. Slowly, patiently, a loose sphere begins to take shape, but this is only the beginning. The heart of the nest must be strong and warm. The dormouse now seeks a different kind of material. It finds a trailing vine of honeysuckle, its bark fibrous and stringy. With its sharp teeth, it strips away long, tough ribbons of the bark. Honeysuckle is a special material. It is strong and flexible, and Dormouse will travel farther to find it than any other material, a sign of its importance. It also finds long, dry blades of grass and the slender, stripped stems of ferns. With these fine, strong fibers, it begins the true weaving. The process is a hypnotic, repetitive dance. It holds a strand of honeysuckle in its mouth, tucking it with its tiny paws, pulling it tight, weaving it into the other strands. It turns in a circle, pushing and pulling, shaping the fibers into a dense, intricate ball. There is no pattern, yet there is perfect order. It is creating the inner core of the nest, a tightly woven sphere with no gaps, a perfect chamber of insulation. The final nest is a masterpiece of natural engineering, a structure of two distinct layers, an outer shell of loose leaves and an inner core of tightly woven fibers. It is a perfect sphere, about the size of a tennis ball, a small self-contained world. It is a physical manifestation of the dormouse's transition from the outer world to the inner one. It is a womb for the long sleep. The work is done. The sphere is complete. The dormouse pushes its way inside into the dark, soft center. The woven fibers press against its fur. It is snug. It is safe. And then, from the inside, it performs one final act. It pulls the last few strands of grass and bark across the entrance, weaving it shut from within. The door is sealed. There is no visible opening. The world outside is gone. The dormouse is now alone in the perfect dark sphere it has created for itself. It has built its own universe, a tiny planet of leaf and grass, and now it rests at its still, quiet center, ready for the great slowing to begin. Chapter 3: The Slowing of the World. Inside the woven sphere, a new journey begins. It is not a journey through space, but a journey through being. It is a descent, a deep and deliberate spiraling inward, away from the world of warmth and movement, into a state of profound stillness. The dormouse curls itself into a perfect ball. Its small head is tucked down, its tiny paws are held close, and its long furry tail is wrapped around its body and over its face, a final soft shield against a world it has already left behind. It is a posture of ultimate retreat, of perfect self-containment. And now, the great slowing commences. It begins with temperature. The dormouse's body, warm from its work and from the lingering energy of autumn, begins to cool. This is not a passive surrender to the cold earth around it. It is a highly regulated process, a turning down of its internal thermostat, a conscious, though not cognitive, act of will. The fire of its metabolism is being carefully, deliberately banked. The warmth recedes. The body that was a vibrant 37 degrees Celsius begins its slow slide downwards. It cools and cools, letting go of its heat until it is just 1 or 2 degrees above the temperature of the soil around it, a temperature that might be close to freezing. It becomes cold to the touch, a small, chill jewel in the heart of the nest. Next, the heart begins to quiet, the rapid fluttering beat of the active dormouse, a frantic drum running at 200, 300, even 400 beats per minute, begins to fade. The rhythm stretches. The space between each beat grows longer and longer and longer, a single slow muffled thump, and then a vast cavern of silence, another thump, and more silence. The pulse of life, once a rushing river, becomes a slow, lazy drop. It falls by over 90% until there are only a few beats each minute. 3, maybe 10, slow, deliberate pulses in a sea of quiet. The silence becomes the sound. The pause becomes the rhythm. The breath follows the heart into stillness. The quick, shallow breaths of the waking world cease. The rise and fall of its tiny chest becomes almost imperceptible. The exchange of air, the very definition of life, is reduced to a ghost of its former self, a reduction of 90% or more. Sometimes the breathing stops altogether for long periods, a state of apnea, a profound pause that can last for many minutes before a single slow breath is taken. It is not a struggle, it is a release. It is the body letting go of the need to constantly feed the fire, allowing the embers to glow in the deep ash of hibernation. The very machinery of life is shutting down. Metabolism, the constant, invisible hum of chemical reactions that defines a living being, is suppressed to a mere fraction of its normal rate. It may fall to as little as 1 or 2% of its waking state. The Dormouse is now running on a pilot light, a tiny flickering flame of being that requires almost no fuel. Even the blood in its veins changes. It becomes thicker in the cold, moving slowly through the quiet vessels. A hidden magic, a deep physiological adaptation, prevents it from clotting, from forming dangerous blockages in this state of near total stasis. Every part of the Dormouse, down to the molecules in its blood, has prepared for this journey. This is not sleep, this is torpor. This is a controlled, reversible journey to the very edge of what we call life. It is a deliberate dismantling of the body's busy functions, reducing them to their purest, most essential essence. It is a state of being without the constant, costly effort of doing. The Dormouse is no longer an actor in the world. It has become a part of the earth itself, cold and quiet and still, a tiny curled secret, dreaming the long, slow dream of winter. Chapter 4: The Dream of the Earth. What is it like to be in this state of deep hibernation? It is a place beyond our understanding of sleep, beyond the landscape of our own dreams. The brain of the hibernator enters a different state. Its electrical patterns, unlike those of waking or sleeping, it is a profound suppression of consciousness, a sealing of the soul in its quiet casket. It is a journey into a place that has been described as an intermediate state between life and death. The Dormouse does not know that time is passing. The sun rises and sets, but its light cannot penetrate the layers of leaf and soil and snow. The moon waxes and wanes, but its silver glow is lost to the world above. For the Dormouse, there is no day, no night, no yesterday, no tomorrow. There is only a long, unbroken, peaceful now. Hunger, the great driver of the waking world, is silenced. Hormones flow through its chilled body, suppressing the urge to eat, turning off the loud signals for food and water. It is a state of perfect contentment, of wanting nothing. It is simply being. The world outside continues its winter story. A heavy snow falls, blanketing the forest in a thick layer of white. The sound is a deep, profound hush that settles over everything. To the Dormouse, deep in its earthy sphere, this is not a sound. It is a change in pressure, a gentle insulating weight that settles above it, making its world even quieter, even more stable. A winter storm rages through the forest. The wind howls in the bare branches of the oaks, and the frozen wood of the trees cracks and groans in the cold. But in the hibernaculum, there is no wind. The storm is felt only as a deep, low-frequency vibration in the soil, a distant rumble that passes through the Dormouse's still body without disturbance. It is the world breathing, a slow, deep rhythm that does not break the spell of its sleep. A fox pads silently across the snow-covered ground above. A badger, digging for roots, passes nearby. In the waking world, this would be a cause for alarm, but for the hibernating Dormouse, the footfalls are just dull, distant thuds. Pressure changes in the earth, that do not register as danger. The world has become a muffled echo, its sharp edges and sudden noises smoothed away into a blur. The colors of the world have faded to a spectre gray, a monochrome dream. The dormouse is not entirely disconnected. Its senses are not completely shut down. A faint thread of awareness remains, a deep and primal connection to the world. A study of other small hibernators has shown that they can smell the scent of smoke even while in deep torpor. It is a remarkable thing. A signal of danger can still pierce the veil of this profound sleep. But the response is slow, muted, dependent on the coldness of the body. A twitch of a whisker, a slight shift in posture, a response so small it is almost imperceptible. The sense is there, but the urgency is gone. This is the dream of the earth. It is a state of muted connection, of being part of the world but removed from its frantic pace. It is like listening to a loud symphony from a room far away, where all you can hear is the low, deep hum of the bass notes. All the sharp, high, alarming sounds have been filtered out. All that remains is a gentle, resonant vibration. The dormouse drifts in this quiet, timeless ocean. It is a passenger on a planet that is tilting away from the sun, and it is content to ride out the long, cold journey in perfect stillness. It is not losing time, it is transcending it. It is gaining a form of longevity, a way to step outside the rush of seasons, to simply be until the world is ready to welcome it back. It is a small curled seed buried in the dark earth, waiting patiently, peacefully for the signal to grow again. Chapter 5. A Faint and Distant Echo. The long sleep is not a perfectly flat, unbroken line. It is a deep, dark ocean, and even in the deepest ocean, there are slow, subtle currents, faint and distant stirrings. These are the periodic arousals, the brief, mysterious ripples in the stillness of hibernation. They are not a flaw in the process, they are a necessary part of it. Even in this state of near suspended animation, the body produces waste, and these byproducts must be cleared away. So, from time to time, a signal is sent from deep within the dormouse's sleeping mind, a signal to stir. It is not waking as we know it. It is not a sudden jolt back to the world. It is a slow internal tide turning, a faint echo of life, a memory of warmth in the deep cold. The process of arousal begins, but it is a ghost of the full awakening that will come in spring. The heart, which has been beating its slow, solemn rhythm of only a few beats per minute, may quicken slightly. The vast silence between the beats shortens for a little while. The breath, which has been a mere whisper, may deepen for a few moments. A small amount of warmth may begin to spread through the body. This brief return towards life comes at a tremendous cost. These arousals are incredibly expensive in terms of energy. They burn through the precious reserves of fat that the dormouse so carefully gathered in the autumn. A single arousal can use up a significant portion of the energy that would have sustained it for many days of deep torpor. This is the great gamble of hibernation. The dormouse must have enough fuel to last the entire winter, including the cost of these periodic stirrings. This is why the stability of its hibernaculum is so important. A stable, cold temperature keeps the dormouse in its deep energy-saving state. A mild winter, with its fluctuating temperatures, can be dangerous. The warmth can trick the dormouse's body into waking too often. Each time it stirs, it burns more of its precious fuel. If it wakes too many times, it may run out of energy before the spring has come, before there is food to be found in the waking world. More dormice are lost during hibernation than at any other time of year, their small bodies simply running out of power in the deep quiet of their nests. And so, the deep, unwavering cold of winter is a blessing. It is a guardian of the dormouse's sleep, a protector of its energy. It holds the dormouse in its still, frozen embrace, preventing these costly interruptions. From the dormouse's perspective, this brief arousal is likely nothing more than a dream. It is a fleeting sensation of warmth, a momentary quickening of its internal world, before it gently, slowly slides back down into the cold, quiet peace of torpor. It is a faint and distant echo of the waking world, a ripple that spreads across the surface of the deep ocean of its sleep and then is gone. The stillness returns, the silence deepens once more, the fragile balance is maintained, the energy is conserved. The long sleep continues, a testament to the perfection of this ancient strategy. The dormouse rests, held in a delicate equilibrium between life and stillness, its survival hanging on a razor thin edge of energy conservation. And in its perfect woven sphere, it is safe. The cold protects it, the earth cradles it, and the deep, unbroken peace of winter settles over it once more. Chapter 6. The Internal Sunrise. For months, the dormouse has been a creature of the cold, its body a reflection of the frozen earth around it. But now, as the long winter begins to loosen its grip on the world outside, a change begins within the tiny, curled sphere. It is not a change that comes from the outside in, it is a change that is born from the inside out. An ancient internal clock, a rhythm tied to the slow lengthening of the days, sends a silent signal through the sleeping body. It is a signal that has been passed down through countless generations of dormice. It is a message that says, simply, it is time. It is time to return. The awakening does not begin with a shiver or a start. It begins with a quiet, miraculous process. Deep within the dormouse's body, primarily around its neck and back, lies a special kind of tissue. It is not the white fat that has served as its fuel all winter. This is brown adipose tissue, or BAT. For centuries, it was known as the hibernation gland, a mysterious organ that seemed to hold the secret of waking. And now this secret is revealed. The brown fat is an internal furnace, a source of an incredible, non-shivering heat. A signal from the nervous system triggers it, and this special tissue begins to burn its stored lipids at an astonishing rate. It is a process of pure heat generation, a form of thermogenesis that does not require the contraction of muscles. This is the internal sunrise. A deep, pervasive warmth begins to glow from the core of the dormouse's body. It is a gentle but powerful heat, a dawn that is breaking not in the sky, but within its own small form. The soul's sap quivers as this new warmth stirs the dumb spirit of its sleeping flesh. There is no violent shaking, no struggle to wake. There is only this slow, radiant unfolding of warmth, spreading outwards from the center. The warmth touches the chilled blood, and the blood begins to thaw. The river of life, which has been frozen almost to its bed, begins to flow again. Slowly at first, and then with gathering speed, the warming blood circulates through the body, carrying heat and life to the cold extremities, to the tiny paws and the delicate ears. The heart feels this returning warmth, and it remembers its old rhythm. The long, slow silence between beats begins to shorten. The solemn, deep thumps become quicker, lighter, more insistent. The heart rediscovers its song, a steady, life affirming beat that grows stronger with every passing moment. The lungs, which have been nearly still, feel the call to action. The single ghostly breaths become deeper, more regular. Oxygen, the breath of fire, floods back into the body, feeding the rising metabolism, bringing every cell back to life. Sensation returns, a tingling in the paws, a feeling of expansion in the chest. The profound numbness of torpor recedes, replaced by a growing awareness of its own body. The dormouse is recreating itself from within. It is not waiting for the sun to warm it. It is becoming its own sun. The transformation is astonishingly rapid. In just a few hours, the dormouse's body temperature will climb from just above freezing all the way back to a warm and stable 37 degrees Celsius. It is a journey across a vast thermal landscape, powered entirely by the small, potent furnace of its own brown fat. It is an act of profound, self-generated life. The internal sunrise is reaching its zenith. The dormouse is no longer a cold, still creature of the earth. It is a warm, breathing, living being, once more, held in the dark, safe cradle of its nest. It has weathered the long night of winter, and now, from within its own being, it has brought forth the dawn. Chapter 7. The Unsealing of the Sphere. Warmth has returned. The dormouse is fully alive now, a creature of heat and breath, nestled in the dark heart of its winter sphere. The internal sunrise is complete, and as its own senses come fully online, it begins to perceive the world outside its nest in a new way. The muffled, distant echoes of winter have been replaced by the clear, sharp sounds of the thaw. It can hear the gentle drip, drip, drip of melting snow falling from the branches above. It can hear the soft trickle of a tiny stream of meltwater finding its way through the leaf litter. It can hear the song of a bird, one of the first to return, its notes clear and hopeful in the pale morning air. A new scent fills the tiny chamber. The dry, earthy smell of winter is giving way to something else. It is the smell of damp soil, of wet bark, of living things beginning to stir. It is the smell of spring. The dormouse is thin. It has lost a third of its body weight, maybe more, during the long fast. The rich reserves of fat that anchored it to its sleep are gone, burned away to fuel the long stillness and the final glorious arousal. It is weary, but it is alive, and now it is time to leave the sleeping world behind. With a gentle push of its head and paws, it presses against the tightly woven wall of its nest. The fibers of honeysuckle and grass, which have held it so securely for so many months, begin to give way. The perfect sphere is unmade. The boundary between the inner world of its sleep and the outer world of waking begins to dissolve. A sliver of light appears. It is a soft, watery light, the gentle light of an early spring morning. It is not the harsh, bright sun of summer, nor the low, golden light of autumn. It is a new light, a light full of promise. The dormouse pushes again, and the opening widens. It pokes its small head out of the nest, out of the darkness and into the day. It blinks, its large dark eyes, so accustomed to the absolute blackness of its hibernaculum, adjust to the pale light. The world is washed clean. The trees are still bare, their branches like dark lace against a soft gray sky. Patches of snow still lie in the hollows, but the ground is dark and wet with meltwater. The air is cool and clean, and full of the scent of new beginnings. The dormouse is poised at the threshold. It sits at the edge of its old sleeping world, the now broken sphere that kept it safe through the long winter. Before it lies the new waking world, a world of hunger and light and sound and movement. The journey of deep sleep is over. A new journey is about to begin. It takes a breath of the cool, fresh air. It listens to the dripping water and the song of the bird. It is a moment of perfect transition, of quiet and peaceful renewal. The great sleep is finished. The world awaits.